Man, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the fourth, not the first, second, or third, the fourth
Go
episode
for
of Give and Go. Your host, Dante Williams. And co hosting this show with me today is my good brother, Jimmy. He
not
don't
just
need no
today,
introduction, bro.
not just today, but every day. Come on now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they already know. Like, they don't need. But, man, it it's a lot to talk about on this fine day. It's a lot to
Man,
talk about.
man, man.
We finna talk about this first round playoff series, and so much then went on that like I can't even go into detail about right now. It's just too
Right.
much going on. So man, what you ready, bro? You ready to get into this? You ready?
So I've been waiting for a week and a half.
Yeah, it's been we couldn't hold it in no longer. We finally got the time
hmm
now. So
hmm
as you know, the Miami Heat got swept by the Milwaukee Bucks. What's your thoughts? Like, cause this is a team that was in the finals last year, but now, and they beat the Bucks. The Bucks was the first seed. They eliminated them. Now the Bucks came back for revenge and eliminated them first round, swept them. So, what do you think Miami went wrong here? Let me know. Let me know something.
Oh, where do I start? Um, First thing is, everybody's talking about this bubble curse, that the bubble was a fluke.
Yeah,
Um, Miami played good last season, but they also this season lost a lot of their key players. I felt like Jay Crowder was a big piece that they lost in the offseason.
I thought the
Um,
same thing.
I thought last year Dragic was hurt, even though they still made it to the finals. I don't think Dragic looked the same this season. Tyler Hero didn't look the same. Duncan Robinson, he's been good all season. He's been hitting threes. Kendrick Nunn, he's been decent. Um, I didn't see the same intensity from Bam and Jimmy Butler in the playoffs
Yeah,
like last year. I don't know, maybe if it was, all the games piling up on them but Bam he didn't even look like an all-star in this series. Jimmy Butler, he still played decent, but he didn't play good enough for them to, you know, go against the Bucks. But then we also got to talk about the Bucks. They did a lot of offseason moves that helped their team. Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis stepped up. Whoever thought Bobby Portis would be the key off the
hey,
bench?
look, hey, he been
So,
underrated. He been
hmm
underrated. He been
and
underrated.
they had a good player, Forts. He stepped up. I think DiVincenzo played good for them all season. Chris Middleton, all season, he's been playing good. This is what we didn't see in the bubble from him last year. He stepped up in this series, and I think they had a little vendetta against Miami, but this go around, the Milwaukee had the better team. That's just what it is. They had the better team. They had the better starting lineup, the better bench. And like I said, they didn't want to lose 2 years in a row to Miami, but Milwaukee definitely did a good job. Get AGM props for improving their team this year.
And I'll give a coach credit, Budenholzer, because I think outside of like their acquisition, they changed their style of play. Like you
hmm
can see the last couple of seasons, like in the postseason, he will always have Giannis bring the ball up the court, but you can kind of see
hmm
more now. They had him playing off ball, so that way when Giannis had the ball, they wasn't sitting there trying to trap him as soon as they knew he was going to drive in and stuff like that. They had Drew Holiday now, so he can run the offense. They don't need Giannis to bring the ball up the court every possession. And then
Yeah.
with Brooke
hmm
Lopez, I think it was a different role with him in terms of instead of him shooting all them 3 pointers, he was putting pressure on Bam in the post, and Bam was getting in foul trouble. So Brooke Lopez using his size, and then Milwaukee was getting more second chance opportunities. So I think that style of play changed. I think they added another good defender in PJ Tucker who can guard,
I
probably your
forgot
best
about
player.
him. Yeah, I
He
forgot
can
about
guard
him.
your
Yeah.
best player. Um, we put Bobby Portis at center off the bench, and he can stretch the floor. Forbes was a huge shooter they picked up, and yeah, Milwaukee just looked more deep, more complete than last year. They
Yeah, I
like a
mean,
whole different team.
Yeah, they definitely made a lot of adjustments, but like I said, Miami lost a lot of key free agents, and
They lost a
then
lot of people.
they got Trevor Ariza, but he wasn't playing the same as Crowder was, as far as he was knocking down some threes, but not as efficient as Crowder. They lost Kelly Olynyk, of course, Miles Leonard, two not two scoring centers, but I mean they got a decent size. You know, that would have given them a little bit more
Shooting.
size. Yeah, I like the way they backup center play. I can't remember his name.
Deadman. You talking about Deadman?
Yeah, Devin.
Yeah.
He gave them a lot of energy, but you also got to look at they were really banking on that Oladipo trade to kind of get them that edge, and then
Yeah.
Oladipo gets hurt again. So I mean, I feel like for the Heat, in this off season, it's gonna be a lot of talks of maybe getting a different point guard. I know they maybe want to keep Kendrick Nunn, but he's better off the bench. If they could get them a Kyle Lowry or a Dennis Schroeder to come in and kind of add them, you know, into the integrate him into the lineup for like a little bit extra scoring, and then maybe get them a little bit more size coming off the bench. Devin was good, but maybe get somebody that could stretch the floor a little bit and kind of open it up for like Bam and Butler.
Yeah. The Heat. 'Cause I know Bam is considered All Star. We know Jimmy Butler All Star, but I think with the Heat, they need someone who can come in, an All Star caliber player who can put up big numbers. That's why you hear a lot of people talking about Bradley Beal. The Heat would be a good fit. You can slide Butler to the three. He can focus on defending your best player.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bradley Beal is someone they should go for. I don't know who they would give up. I mean, the Heat got some players. You got like I said, you got Kendrick Nunn. Even though he's a free agent, but you can do a sign and trade. Send over
Mm-hmm.
maybe I don't know Duncan Robinson, but Duncan Robinson. Miami is kind of weird because they got some free agents. We know they probably gonna sign Duncan Robinson back. Tyler Hero on a rookie
Mm-hmm.
contract. But if
Mm-hmm.
you look at like Nunn and Hero, those if you want like an all-star caliber player, those are some players they got to give up to get that
Yeah,
player.
but with Bradley Bill like put them over the edge, so I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know what specifically. I think the Heat are missing. I think the Heat need like a star three,
Mm.
like someone a four who can go with Jimmy Butler but can score a little bit better. I think that's what they missing. Point guard wise,
Mm.
they got like I said, they got options. They can sign back Kendrick Nunn. He a restricted free agent. You got Dragic. Like the guard wise, they good. They hero. I just think they need a
I just
three.
I just don't think Dragic got it like he did before the injury. I don't know. Maybe it was just
Yeah,
season. Maybe
that injury probably just messed him up. But
yeah.
speaking of Bradley Beal, the Sixers bounced him out 4-1. That's a
Mm.
series I'm pretty sure everybody kind of knew
Mm-hmm.
the Sixers was gonna win, but we knew Wizards didn't really have that much talent compared to like the Sixers. But there's gonna be a lot of talk this off season. I think Bradley Beal they might try and trade him to see what assets they get back, or you gonna see the Wizards kind of loading up trying to see who they can surround him and Westbrook with. And if you look at this past season, they don't look like a bad backcourt duo. I think Westbrook compliment Beal more than John Wall did because Westbrook can do everything else. He can rebound, assist.
Well, Wall wasn't even playing. I mean, it's
Yeah,
kind
but
of
I'm
easier to
saying like
compliment when you.
I'm saying before he got hurt, like you can kind of they was losing, first second round, like it was.
But you got to think back. Like Wall and Bill was in the playoffs before. Like they were. Bill is better than he was when they were in the playoffs. Back when John Wall was still healthy. But John Wall was the guy. They were just going
Yeah,
up. They were just going up against a better Toronto team or LeBron James, and that's kind of what was throwing him off. And then, John Wall got hurt, and of course, Bill had to start, becoming a scorer, which he has. I don't know. I mean, I didn't expect Washington to win a game against the Sixers, and they did. They actually played really well. I just think they didn't have an answer for Joel Embiid. I just think that was the only issue. I
yeah,
feel like if Bill stays on Washington, they maybe upgrade at the center position. You may look at Nurkic from Portland. He may be available to get more offensive wise. He more maybe get them a better defensive center. I'm not sure. But the Sixers did what they supposed to do. Even though Joel got hurt the last 2 games, they didn't really rush him back. But Tobias Harris in this series and Seth Curry, Stephen Curry's little brother, he showed why Curry is his last name because he was lighting them up in this series.
Yeah, the thing with the Wizards though, it's gonna be hard getting free agents there. So what you got to do is you're gonna have to trade to get some of these players. Now, if you look at that roster, they don't really have too many assets. I mean, I'm pretty sure they got some picks, but like, look at the dude they drafted this year, Danny Avdia, I think that's his name. He went like 9th pick. He didn't get no playing time. So a team like that, they gonna have to draft better. Now you got Westbrook and Beal.
I mean, but look at they forward who they drafted.
Rui. Now Rui gonna be good. He gonna be good, but I don't know. They gonna have to trade to get some decent players on their team. Nobody in free agency gonna be like, I want to join Washington because it's not a big market place. It's kind of a lower market. They don't really attract. Like the last couple of years, everybody been looking at the Lakers, Clippers to go to. Like it's not a big market town. So places like that, they gonna have to.
I mean, I feel like you may can get some guys coming there and play with Bill and Westbrook. Depending on
hold that thought. Hold that thought. We got a special guest today. My bro Juice.
He done made it in here.
Yeah, he finally in here.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Shit.
So
what's good?
So Juice, let's catch you up. We only on the second topic right now. We talking about the Sixers and Washington, that series. So like with the Wizards, what do you think they have to? Obviously, they got to load up. They got to change their roster. But like, what you think about Beal? Do you think this is time to go? You think they should just blow it up?
Personally, I don't know. I would say give another year of Westbrook, to be honest. It kind of worked towards the end. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they kind of play well off each other. And mind you, I'm not a big fan of Westbrook. I appreciate it, but I'm not a big fan of personal reasons. But I feel like another year. You know what I'm saying? If it don't work in that second year, because they only been like this is their first year, right? If I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
So just give it another year. I think you need to.
He got traded in the middle of the season. He got traded in the middle of the season.
Right.
Yeah, he definitely got traded.
Let it get a year, and then they need a new coach, man. And because they got some good young talent, they need a big. That's really their main.
They need some more shooters too around Westbrook, because Westbrook gonna get you open. He gonna pass it though, so.
Well, what the point I made?
Yeah.
The point I made was the Wizards played well against the Sixers, better than I thought they would. They just didn't have nobody to slow down Joel. So I was saying the center position too.
Yeah, Nurkic. Man, it's gonna be a decent free agency class. I mean, it's gonna be some bigs out there, but we know Washington gonna have to do something. But I want to talk about another series, which is kind of quite interesting. Let's talk about the Hawks and Knicks, because this was a series. I think people came in, they was thinking the Knicks was gonna win. They was the 4th seed, but I think the Hawks proved everybody wrong. Trae Young, he don't look afraid at all. And I think that him and Luka Doncic trade kind of look kind of even now, almost. Yeah. So Juice, what's your thoughts? I'm gonna start with you first, and I'm gonna pass it to my brother. What's your thoughts on that series?
I full-heartedly thought the Knicks was gonna win. They really surprised a lot of people, so I thought they was really gonna do some shit. But it just shows you how the coaching changed. And the culture with Nate McMillan and the defensive approach. You can tell like it's different because the Hawks start of the season they weren't good. They were terrible. And once that coach
he ain't lying.
Like defensively they couldn't close games out and everything. Like, and then Trae Young, he wasn't living up to, like, you know what I'm saying, we looked at Trae Young last year like, all right, he can take the next step. At the end of beginning of the season, it was like, all right, what you doing? You feel me? Like, he wasn't good. Like, none of them were really good. So with that coaching change and everything, the culture change and everything, they got them right. Everybody was playing. Like, everybody can hoop. And they just outplayed the Knicks. Julius Randle is a liability. He only goes left.
And they were saying that too. They were saying that after every game. He goes left every time.
Oh man.
But that goes to show that I think Julius Randle can't be a number one option. I think he a good number 2 or 3. What they were saying. But let's talk about Derrick Rose, man, because
you gotta. All right, so I mean, let me go a little bit back to Drew's points with Atlanta with the culture change. That was a big move on their part. Everybody knows Trae Young is good. Everybody knows 2 threes. But I think what you learn in this series about his game is he's a good passer. He's a really good passer. Right. So not only do he score, he get his teammates involved. And then let's get the Knicks props. Like Tom Thibodeau then made it okay to go to the Knicks in free agency now. So I think you look at a lot of teams and you look at a lot of players to kind of go towards signing with the Knicks. But they came up short. They good defense. I talked about their defense, which I assumed was gonna get them the series, but then their offense didn't show up at all. And Julius Randle was the start of it. Like y'all was saying, he only go left. RJ Barrett only go left. Like you said, D Rose was the highlight of this whole series besides Trae Young.
Man,
D Rose was keeping them in the games. Like, so you kind of look at the Knicks free agency to they're gonna go after every big scorer that you could think of. The Knicks should be going after, or to try and trade, do something. Like you said, Dante, Julius Randle may not be your first option, but he's still an all-star. He still can be that good second option. I don't think he needs to bring the ball up the floor as much as he was trying to do. Maybe if he gets around and they try and go on a fast break, yeah, but at
but
times.
If you think about it, but if you think about it, early in the season, look who the Knicks had. They had Austin Rivers, who was now in Denver, but they elected to keep Alfred Payton, who probably started for like the first couple games, and then he didn't play no more.
He was so trash. My God.
He didn't play no more in the series, I think, after that. But hey, look, they got Quickly. I think he's gonna be good. They got Toppin. I think he got to work on his outside shots some more. I think he's just athletic, but
he could be a defensive player if he coach sat down with him. Like, you could be a very good defensive player if you just use your athletic ability on both ends.
And then I saw something too, like RJ Barrett. You can see Zion and Ja Morant like on a whole different level from him in that draft class. Because he played horrible. Him and Julius Randle played horrible. So
RJ Barrett played okay. I wouldn't say he played horrible, but he didn't play up to the expectations everybody wanted him to. He's still in his second year. I mean, it's a lot of players that don't come to it maybe until like their 5th year. Some players are special. They'll be good on the first season they come in the league. But I mean, give RJ Barrett some time. He needs to add more elements to his game.
No, but he's a 3rd pick. You a 3rd pick. You can't be a 3rd pick.
No, but look, this is the thing.
Like that's just terrible.
He averaged like I think around 18 a game this season, and then his playoff numbers dropped by a lot when he got to the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's the point.
But Rose got a lot more minutes. He took a lot more shots.
I hope D Rose hearing me. D Rose needs to go to a winning situation. Personally, I'm not saying this because he's Chicago. I think if he go back to Chicago with Levine and Vucevic in the Eastern Conference, I think they can do something. Honestly, Kobe White, he can mentor Kobe White. Like, I think they can do something, bro. Honestly.
To be honest,
the Bulls would. Go ahead,
guard. They need a lead guard, and I think Kobe can be that. But I don't think they want to. I don't think they're trying to get Kobe to range yet.
I think they're gonna look at Lonzo Ball. Honestly,
and I think they should get Lonzo Ball. I think that'd be a great move. I don't think you need D Rose because I don't. D Rose can start because he showed that in the playoffs, but I think he's better suited minutes wise and health wise for the 6 man role. He plays that role to perfection because he can give you he can show you he can give you 30 off the bench easily in a sleep easy. So I think going forward, being a 6 man off the bench is probably the better role for him to prolong his career. But if we talking about the next guard to the Bulls, I really think they should have the Lonzo Ball. Like
Well,
Lonzo,
let's
that
well let's
Lonzo
stay on
Ball
topic because
thing.
we could talk about the
Right,
Bulls, D
right,
Rose
right.
all day
Yeah.
long. We,
My bad, my bad.
So yeah, let's get into this next series. The Nets and the Celtics. The Nets won 4-1. They said Harden, Kyrie, and Durant the highest scoring trio in postseason history already in the first round of a playoff series. I don't think it's nothing to talk about really much on the Nets part. I think it's more on the Boston. You know, they coach now. They president now. Jason, we know Jaylen Brown was out, but I think the Celtics got a lot of questions with who they gonna surround Jason Tatum with. So, what's y'all thoughts on that?
You go ahead first, Juice.
I don't know what Boston needs. I really don't.
I don't know what they need. I think
really
they need a
don't.
big, but yeah.
That's all I want him to go first. 'Cause I'm still trying to think about it.
I mean, you can say a big, yeah. You need a. I'll say they can get probably try to go get Miles Turner. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, they need like a big.
But I don't know, bro. They really had a solid team this year, so I don't know. I don't.
I think
So. Go ahead. Dog.
You go.
All right, because I'm. So you look at Boston, right? You think of Jason Tatum. You think of Jaylen Brown. You know they was missing him. Of course, you think of Kemba Walker. And then what did I say, Dante? The past episodes. Who was I talking about on the sidelines? Brad Stevens. I said Brad Stevens was gonna get fired if they didn't play good enough. But Jaylen Brown will be the reason that he may keep his job. Unbeknownst to me, Brad Stevens got a promotion, which I didn't. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with that. So now it's like, okay, Brad Stevens is not the coach, but he's gonna be the one in y'all front office, making executive decisions. So it's like now, what executive decisions were you making as a coach? Like, what are you gonna do as the president of operations and stuff like that? So let me go ahead and break the Celtics down. First, Jason Tatum not going anywhere. Okay.
Of course.
Oh, he getting a match. He getting a super.
He's not
match.
going anywhere. So now you got to look at Jaylen Brown. Same questions that came up with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons is the same thing that's gonna come up with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Can they play together? Whose team is it? Who's gonna be the guy? I think Jason Tatum proved that he's the guy, but Jaylen Brown is right behind him. If you Jaylen Brown, you want to stay on the Celtics because they got a good situation there. In the past couple of seasons, I think the Celtics been in the postseason. I can't remember the time where the Celtics missed the postseason. You got to take a look at Kemba Walker. He builded up a lot of injuries. I felt like maybe they could upgrade that point guard. If it's Trey Kemba or letting him walk, I think he got some most years on his contract.
Yeah,
I think they should make. Yeah, I think they should. If they're gonna make a change, it should be point guard, power forward, and center. Tristan Thompson, he's good at getting rebounds, but he's not scoring. He don't space the floor.
Yeah, back.
But this the thing though. Let me go back for a minute. At one point in time, y'all had Kyrie, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Gordon Hayward, and Al Horford. I think they was all pretty. But Gordon Hayward was out.
It was no chemistry.
Yeah,
the chemistry.
But I'm saying, like, how many players Boston gonna get? All-star caliber players, and they not going they gonna have to come up with a decision. Like
like I said, you got to look at Kemba Walker. You got to look at their center position. You may have to look at trade and Marcus Smart because that's one of the trade options that you may have. They got Aaron Fournier. I feel like you keep him, to space the floor, but they gonna have to figure it out. And then you got a big decision to make with coaching. Who's gonna be the next guy that y'all gonna blame that the Celtics are not good enough in the postseason? I hear Jason Kidd name a lot, but what has Jason Kidd?
He's a good.
What has Jason Kidd?
I think he needs to go to. My thing. I really don't. It's gonna be a shocker to y'all when I say this, but I really don't think Frank Vogel will be the Lakers coach next year. I really don't think
he may be.
Now look. We gonna get to that in a minute because I got a lot to tell you about him. I got too much to say about Frank Vogel.
But
let me get back to Jason Kidd.
Like, coaches should go after Sam Cassell. Get Sam Cassell. I think that'd be
good.
Mark Jackson.
Somebody answer my point. What has Jason Kidd done that has impressed everybody that he's
but look. Can I explain something?
Go ahead.
So they said from what I've been seeing on TV and stuff, like what they say about Jason Kidd, he had a lot to do with Giannis, becoming his own player. They say he's good at player development. Now with Boston, I feel like with Boston, all the young players you got on your team, I feel like you need a coach like that who's good with player development. But
I mean, the way these coaches going now, like you can get fired one season if player don't like you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's Jason Kidd. If he was to get the Boston job, they would have to make a big leap. But I think a bigger leap for them would to be get you a point guard that that's kind of younger, that's more consistent, and get you a center that can play defense and also get you some good buckets. Yeah, Mal Turner was a good option that you said. I don't know what the Pacers are doing right now. They might as well just trade.
They in rebuild mode. In my head,
the Pacers. There's nothing working right now. I think you keep LeVert and Sabonis. But the Pacers, I think Miles Turner. I think he should just go ahead and go. I don't really see him doing nothing on the Pacers.
But they may get rid of the Pacers coach too.
And then I think you keep LeVert, Brogdon, and Sabonis, and then the rest of the players should just be up for trades. That's how I look at it. But look, they didn't have T.J. Warren either. Don't forget that he was hurt all season.
Yeah, they paid.
But I think they should trade him. They should look for some trade value for him.
He chose to sit out. Crazy.
Yeah.
He chose to sit out because of the coach. They don't fuck with the coach.
Oh, well, yeah, trade.
So let's get back to the series, though. We talked a lot about Boston. We talked about Brooklyn now. I'm going to rant a little bit because y'all know KD, my guy. But I think people forget one thing about, first off, Kyrie won a ring. KD has won, 2 rings, multiple Finals MVP. Kyrie has hit shots in probably the biggest. Kyrie probably hit the biggest shot I've seen, like in playoff basketball. KD has done the same thing, and then you got a James Harden that, for the first time since he's been off OKC and in Houston, since he's been off Houston, he's asked to not score but just to facilitate, and that just opened the game up for him to just take over anytime he wants to. So I think going into the series that people didn't know how Brooklyn was going to gel, but you forget that KD and Kyrie got a lot of playoff championship experience. Harden got a lot of playoff experience, so I think you take that into account. And Blake Griffin, he definitely surprised me. I didn't think he was going to do anything coming from Detroit. He got him a little extra, motivation, energy. I really like Claxton and Brown coming off their.
Claxton gonna be decent. He's gonna be.
Yeah, they bring a lot of energy coming off. So you got to give Brooklyn a lot more credit than I think. People knew they were gonna be really good offensively, but you got to take in their experience into account of how they played, because they lost that game out to Boston, and it was really much over after that. But I think they dropped like 141 the next game.
But let's talk about Joe Harris, because I honestly think Brooklyn probably got the. If you put him in
unsung hero.
if you put him in the game, if you put him in that lineup with Kyrie, James, Durant, him, and like Blake, you can't double none of them. If
This
you
is the
double one of them,
easiest shot that he got in his entire life of
and he the
playing
best
basketball.
And look, he the best 3-point percentage shooter in the league this season.
Yeah,
Him.
definitely he is.
So like, how do you guard that? And
Don't.
and then I want to talk to. I want to talk about this too.
2.0.
Look,
Literally.
the
Right.
Nets defense.
Literally.
Look, the Nets when they made that trade, their defense is horrible. Their defense actually starting to look good now. So
And I feel like so when people look at Brooklyn, right, they don't have no defensive players, you know, besides like DeAndre Jordan, who really didn't play because his offensive liabilities or whatever. But I think you got to give Steve Nash credit for they defensive
Manager
scheme.
personality.
It's not so much about the individual player playing defense; it's team defense.
and they
And I
small
think
too.
A
They
lot
small.
of people who don't hoop and watch basketball, they listen to the announcement, all that. It's a good scheme. What they did against well, I can't talk about the Milwaukee game. I was finna get off track. But for Boston, Boston tried to play Brooklyn's game, and they couldn't play it better. Brooklyn really much just tried to contain Jason Tatum, keep him in a box.
That's all you have to
contest his
do.
Shots,
All you
and
have to
they
do.
gain rebound. They're not a good rebound team, but they gain rebound. So
So
Brooklyn didn't even get a lot of fast break points that they usually would have got. They gain rebound, and they like, we can beat y'all on the second half because nobody can double team us. So we
Hey,
gonna
Corey.
get any shot we want.
Hey Corey, Bruce Brown is definitely underrated. I want to put that out there.
Yeah.
He definitely an underrated player.
Go ahead, Juice. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So one, let's start off. I had the Lakers and Brooklyn. Those are my two teams coming to the season.
I'm pretty sure everybody
I
need
know
it.
Kyrie point guard. Kyrie is
Everybody
my
had them.
favorite point guard.
KD versus Bron in the finals. Who don't want to see that?
Secretly, KD is my second favorite player after Bron. That nigga go crazy. I respect his fucking game to the height.
Well,
And when
let's
healthy,
move on.
he
Let's
is the
move
best
on.
player in the league.
Oh, let him finish.
When he's
Oh, yeah.
healthy, he's the best player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Bron
You talking about
getting
KD?
older- He's getting older now. You know what I'm saying? But pretty much what the Nets did to the Celtics was what the Clippers just did to Luka. And not having Jaylen Brown played a big part in that because Jaylen Brown is their secondary go-to scorer. So without him, you kind of got to rely on Kemba. But Kemba ain't really been that scorer this year. He's been kind of like the third option.
And he been hurt too.
You know what I'm saying? So they pretty much shut down everybody else from scoring. Like Kemba, their whole team, and made Jason Tatum beat them or try to beat them one-on-one, which that's not going to happen.
And I said Jason Tatum would have to score 50 a game for them to win. He scored 50. He scored 50 that one game, and they won. But after that, I mean, you got to do that every night.
The same thing with the Clippers, and he lost. Everybody else fucked up.
But let's be honest though, that game when he scored 50, Marcus Smart was hitting some unbelievable shots too. So that's why I feel like.
Which is why it's hard for me to say Boston should let him go, but I feel like if you're going to,
I think they should let him go. I think they got to let him go.
If you're going to give value back to fill a need that they need, then you got to do it. But let's move on to the next series, Dante.
So
keep it moving.
The Jazz won 4-1 against the Grizzlies. I think the story. I mean, we all know. I think people starting to realize how good Donovan Mitchell is. I think he's going from all-star to superstar. I think that's what everybody's seeing. But let's talk about the Grizzlies for a minute because I think Ja Morant, man, dude, he
up next. He up next.
Ja Morant, bro, like I was watching him putting people on pick and rolls, and then he was just hitting that floater. That floater is a little automatic. But man, they had like Valanciunas. They got a nice young team. They just got to figure out who like the pieces they want to put next to Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson them. So, but they showed a lot of heart. Dylan Brooks, I think he put everybody on notice.
Yeah,
he's
for
he's a
sure.
very good defender. But
Yeah.
I think what kind of hurt him is they said he led the league for a couple seasons in fouls. Like he's a foul leader.
He a
But
hack.
I think when Donovan Mitchell came back,
He's a hack, pretty much. Is
Yeah.
what we call
yeah.
him.
But when Donovan Mitchell came back, it was pretty much the series pretty much over after that.
Yeah.
But
I
the
mean,
Grizzlies have a bright future. I will say that.
give props to Ja Morant. You know, he gonna be a superstar in the league. He got a lot of nice size, which is make it easier for him to hit them floaters. If any knock on Ja Morant will be his jump shot. He would have to get more consistent. If he gets a consistent jumper, I mean, he's just unguardable at that point because he got a lot of athleticism. Dylan Brooks, he definitely helped him out. Valanciunas helped him out. Jaren Jackson, you might have to look at him a little bit because I mean they were kind of better with him off the floor at times. A couple of other rookies they had were playing better than him. I don't know if it's him coming off the injury, but he seemed like he could be expendable if they want to move him and get somebody else. Maybe they get a better shooting guard. Grayson Allen, he was hitting shots.
Yeah, he played very well.
He just been doing this in playoffs before. Like he showed me something. So you keep him, on the bench. Maybe just get more shooting. I think that would have helped space the floor a little bit, but
they had Justice Winslow, but he been kind of injury prone, I think, ever since. But
that's more for defense, though. I mean, I feel like Donovan Mitchell kind of gave them the edge to win the series. And then Clarkson hit a lot of shots. They were all hitting a lot of shots, so they just kind of outscored Memphis. But props to Memphis for making it interesting because it was looking real after the first game, and we are like, okay, hold on.
Yeah, they a couple pieces away from being a good young team, but I'm gonna say this right now, even though it's kind of off topic. When Klay Thompson coming back, y'all not winning no playing game. I'm letting you know right now. When he come back, y'all not winning that. Y'all not winning.
I wasn't expecting you to say that. Like I was like, what is he about to say?
No, look, I just have to throw that in there so people don't got me messed up. When Klay come back, it's a wrap. I'm telling you right now.
All right, well, let's go to the next series, man.
All right, so
let me chime in on that one.
Oh yeah,
Let me time there.
I think Donovan Mitchell is definitely D Wade 2.0. He definitely did this shit. Once he came back,
you can see it.
Right. Shout out to Bogdanovich though. He had big games, like 40-point games, like going into like the play-in and everything like that. So big shout outs to him and their whole team from top to bottom, like they're a well coached team. The Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson, I don't know what his problem is, but he's supposed to be that second option, and he ain't been. I don't know if he's been hurt. I don't know what's really been there, but he ain't been like he's not been living up to expectations. If they can get lucky in a draft and get like a shooting guard to pair with Ja in the backcourt, like a go-to guard who can like I wouldn't even say like 3-and-D guard, but like somebody.
I say they need a 3. I say they need like a 3. I think Dylan Brooks gonna be that 2, and then I think they got to put a 3.
I think Dylan Brooks is physical enough to play the 3. He's physical enough to play the 3. So
but you talking about him guarding like a KD, LeBron, like Giannis.
Let him do it. Let him do it. Let him do it. If
can't nobody guard them anyway.
Right.
Nobody
guard them anyway. So, his objective would be to slow them down. Like, just slow them down a little bit. But he's shown that even though he a hack, he's one of the best defenders. Y'all seen what he did against who he locked up in the series? In was it the play-in game? He locked somebody up.
Mm-hmm. Well, they went up against the Warriors and I can't remember who the other team was.
He kind of did a little bit to
San
Steph, but
Antonio?
Steph was still just being Steph.
That's who it was. It was Steph. He did a really good defensive job on Steph. I've never seen Steph really get shut out of the game like that. Even though he still had points, he got shut out of the game because we used to Steph scoring like 35 plus. But he really like shut Steph out. I've never seen that. Like even the best defenders, like it's Steph, like that don't happen. So that was a little surprising to me. But if they need to hit on this drive, if they can hit on the drive, they'll be solid. They need to get a nice little wing player, a two guard preferably, who can like take some pressure off a job when it comes to scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we gonna let's get into this next series. This is an interesting series. The Nuggets won 4-2. It's a lot to talk about this series because the Nuggets didn't have Jamal Murray. I think everybody saw them losing. Dame was pretty much unstoppable the whole series. He ain't had no help. So Juice, I'm gonna let you start off with this. What you think went wrong with the Blazers? Like, you think it's the coach? Like what you think?
I actually like Terry Stotts as a coach, not gonna lie, but when it comes to making adjustments, that shows how great you are as a coach, making the necessary adjustments.
My brother, like, he ready to say something.
I'm just waiting for y'all to.
They didn't make no adjustments against Denver. Denver kind of got outplayed them. Jokic is the MVP this year. He played a hell of a game. Michael Porter Jr., who the Bulls should have fucking picked up in the beginning, he's showing y'all what he posted.
The Clippers could have drafted him too. The Clippers passed on him. They had the 12th and 13th pick in that draft. Like all these teams passed up on him. The Knicks.
He's showing that y'all tweaked on me, basically. So I got them going pretty far. I don't got them going all the way because if they had Jamal Murray, it would be totally different. It would be completely different. But they need that. They need him. I got Utah going all the way in the West this year. But Dame did his thing, but I feel like his defensive wise, they were terrible. They were terrible.
Horrible. I think they was 29th in defense this season. They was like dead last.
Man, defense wins championships. Dame can't just even you could drop 50 all you want to, but defense wins championships. And that's been proven. And until I like everybody on their team too. I like Nurkic got low key bitch, but hey, but Melo showed up. CJ showed up when he had to sometimes. Norman Powell played a big part in their team, and it just wasn't enough. They don't have no defenders, right?
Besides Covington, that's the only
terrible. I mean, I don't know.
But hey, bro, you can go. I really want to. You holding something in. Just let it out. This is a safe place.
Cause I feel so bad for Dame, bro. Like, I be feeling like he go out there and he play his heart out, bro. Like, you can see, like, he left everything on the floor, and everybody else on the team was just like, "Nah, we good." It's like
that was probably one of the.
I was just so disappointed because, like, I wanted them to go to the next round, but. Dame played good. CJ, I don't know if it's something there where, like, he just let Dame take over. He just kind of, like, sit back. But CJ should have been more aggressive. Melo played really well off the bench. Like, Melo had them in some games. Covington, he a 3-and-D guy, but we didn't see the threes. Like, it was kind of blowing me. Then Nurkic, he couldn't do nothing with Jokic. Like, Joker did whatever I seen the man, like, back him down from the free throw line and just do a hook shot like it was nothing. And I'm just like, how y'all supposed to guard that? And then the man hitting threes. Right. And it's like, I just didn't understand, like, I don't know, maybe Terry Scott's defensive schemes was the reason why. It was something that came out that, like, players was mocking Dame. They were saying, like, your coach can't even figure out what we're doing on defense. Like, and I'm like, that's kind of sad. But what could Terry Stotts have done? Like, you need the personnel to kind of be able to do certain things, and they don't have the personnel. So
you can't say he got the personnel. You can't say he didn't have the personnel. They got the personnel.
As far as trying to contain Jokic, like, I mean, they can
make
space the floor
as a coach. That's their job. That's your job.
But
this goes back to
they had nobody to guard him, and he's like the whole team.
But no, this is what I'm getting irritated about.
Maybe you
Nowadays-
could try to double him. Maybe.
No, look, outside of like the Warriors, these teams, they let these dudes get the switches every single time. That's why the Clippers took a long time to figure. Even though Luka gonna put up big numbers, you saw yesterday, Game 7, when they switched.
We not on that topic.
Ran back to their defender.
We are not on that topic yet.
No, yeah, but
you jumping the gun, and you took one of my points.
Yeah, but look, this all I'm gonna say. CJ, I think he needs to go to a team where he like, if not the primary ball defender. I think maybe Miami or Dallas would be a good fit. He needs to go somewhere where he can just score.
I'm not gonna lie.
Not even his own team. Like Dame, you know Dame finna get the ball 9 times out of 10. If he go to Miami, you can take the ball, Butler. You can let CJ create. Dallas, I feel like he'll be valuable in the playoffs.
Okay, so is CJ and Dame the DeRozan and Murray situation where they just go up against good teams?
Yeah.
And they're a good duo. They can't get over the hump of the
Portland needs. You know what Dame needs?
Is it the other players on the team and coach? Like, which one is it?
Dame needs a 2-guard that's able to defend other players.
That's
why if you look, like, just fantasize this. Imagine if Jimmy Butler was in the backcourt with Dame. That'll be somebody. That'll be like, you don't need Butler to score. You can have Dame in them moments, but Jimmy Butler will be able to defend.
Okay,
that's why they so bad.
We talking about a wing defender. Who was their biggest issue? Jokic. They still don't like. I feel like
Nurkic is playing horrible. Nurkic is just awful.
Yeah, Nurkic is ass.
He just as big as him. Like, if we being honest, like,
so who's going to be the coach to turn Portland around then? Let me know, because they say that kid. And I don't see it.
Look, this is the thing. I think it's going to be coaches out there that if you a coach and you get to coach Dame, it's going to be somebody available. But
they said Chauncey out there.
It's
probably the best option.
It's a lot of coaches. It's a lot of coaches out there that's capable of bringing the best out of their players. We know what Dame's gonna do, but is he gonna bring the best out of the rest of the players on the team?
But they also gonna need to make a change at that power forward center position because.
But look. Like one thing I want to say, they should have kept Whiteside. That's all. I think they should have kept him.
I mean, but what has he done this season? He's playing
for Sacramento. He playing for Sacramento. I mean,
he wouldn't have did nothing with Jokic. Jokic would have took him to the hole. He would have brought him out to the 3-point line. And Whiteside is not a 3-point line defender. So if you get somebody, okay, take Bam.
But against Jokic, that would have been.
Bam would have had a better matchup with Jokic because he has the speed, the athleticism to keep up with him on the perimeter and in the paint.
I think Jokic would have killed him with pure strength. That's why Brook Lopez killed him in the series. That's why
This is apple and oranges right now because Jokic is the MVP of the league right now, besides Steph. So I mean, he's a great player. We got a whole bunch of names, but you can't. All you can do is hope to slow him down. So the thing is, they lost this series without Jamal Murray. They fired their coach. We got to move on.
It's a lot to talk about with that series, but let's get into the real series. Y'all know what's going on. So the Suns won 4-2.
Juice ain't ready for this conversation right now.
Hey, it's a lot to talk about on both sides.
We gonna go over the hour limit today because we gotta get this out.
So who wanna start? That's all I want to say. Juice, you want to start?
We're gonna let you start today.
Let's let you start.
Hold on, Juice. Hold on, Juice. Let me play this violin for you.
You Mr. Crash, you made
them down.
Give him that. Hey, throw the NJ crying emoji over there.
So let me just go.
Oh my god! I wish I could. I wish I could right now.
Schroeder needs to go. Like,
Y'all heard him? What is he?
I need to go front my move. He gotta go. I don't know what, and people are always gonna say it's because he's playing with LeBron. I don't want to hear that. He gotta go. There ain't no way you the starting point guard on the Lakers and you scored 0 points in a playoff game. No.
He the first Laker to ever do that, by the way, ever since they moved to Los Angeles back in the day.
You didn't even have to look that up to say that.
That's a starter.
Go ahead, Juice. Finish, man.
Let
it out. Let it out.
You can get your bags at least for you. He got it. My next point, AD injury prone. If you blow on AD, he hurt. Like, he's hurt. Like, I don't understand.
He said if he blow AD.
You basically the number one option on the Lakers, and you can't stay healthy for a full season. You get blown on and you get hurt. Like, you're out. Like, kaput. Like, this might as well just cut the season. Bron, and I'm blaming this on A. I think we're now seeing the decline of LeBron James. You could tell he a step slower, he a step off. Yeah, he got a little jumper now, but at the end of the day, those supporting cast is ass. Like, and Frank Vogel, you fucking weak too. Cause how you don't play Montrezl Harrell? How do you not play Montrezl? How? It don't even make sense to me. Like, how you don't play Montrezl Harrell? Andre Drummond, ass. Ain't no way. Blows. Terrible. Marc Gasol, I like Marc Gasol, but you ain't give me nothing. TA stop shooting or something. KCP, you need to learn how to and shoot more. I don't know what the fuck you need to do. You probably need to go too. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they need. I don't know what was going on, but they got outplayed.
Hey, one thing I will say,
Chris Paul personally should be
one thing I will say before I let my brother talk.
Chris Paul personally should be MVP. I think he should be MVP. Chris Paul should be MVP. Devin Booker showed that he is the superstar that everybody thinks he is. And the biggest surprise for me was DeAndre Ayton. He showed out on the playoffs, and he deserves a hand clap, like literally. Like, he deserves.
Look.
That's my take.
One thing I will say before I let my brother talk, I do remember at the beginning of the season, everybody said this is the best roster in the league. People
were louder for the people in the back.
You signed 2 6 man of the year candidates.
Go ahead.
You signed Marc Gasol. Who else did they sign? They signed who else they got?
Montrezl, Schroeder. I don't know. I think that was.
So
Wesley Matthews.
So the point is, everybody talking about their roster. I could have sworn before the season started, everybody was saying this is the best roster in the league. They got no flaws. But I'm gonna let you go, brother. Yeah, you go. I'm gonna let you go.
I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth because I wish we could show like everybody like Facebook post expressions when they got Schroeder. Yeah, ooh, we got Harold. Ooh, we got Wesley Matthews. We got Marc Gasol. He's on Space Force. To now, to expressions like Juice expressions, how upset they are that they didn't play well. It's like y'all might as well have kept the players y'all had last year. Everybody hated Danny Green after the bubble.
Way better.
Huh?
Team last year was way better. They shitting on this team.
But wasn't nobody saying that be honest. When they got Schroeder and when they got Montrez, everybody was excited saying they roster is better than last year. You know that's
For
what they were
sure.
saying.
For sure.
You
On
know that's what
paper,
they were
it
saying.
was. On
Yeah.
paper.
He said on paper.
Dead ass.
So I mean,
On paper, this is like one of the best rosters in the NBA on paper. But when it came down to it, last year roster was better than this roster because of the defense. Them letting go of Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, and Rondo was the dumbest thing them motherfuckers could have ever did. I'd rather you would have brought back DeMarcus Cousins.
Hey, Kuzma getting traded. That's all I gotta say. He the first one getting traded.
I ain't even get to Kuzma yet, bro.
No, I'm gonna let you go
I
because
forgot about him. Oh my god.
Kyle Kuzma. I got in an
Trade him.
they
argument with my barber.
traded Brandon Ingram. I'm just saying that they traded Brandon.
I got in an argument with my
Trade him.
barber because they said Kuzma he's a really good player. He's just playing with LeBron, and I'm like, I don't see it.
Wrong.
I don't see it.
Wrong.
He's a liability on defense. He's not stopping anybody. He's not hitting open threes. So even when LeBron came out the game, Kuzma was taking shots, still missing. He didn't show me anything when LeBron AD was off the floor, which is why I feel like they were banking on Kuzma in the beginning of the season. Like, he's going to be the sixth man of the year, or he's going to be that 15 point per game, the third scorer on the Lakers. Garbage. Like,
that man ass, man.
You may get a
THT
second.
was better than him.
You may get a second.
So bad. He want to be LeBron.
You may get a second rounder for him, maybe a late second rounder, because like he didn't show me anything. Schroeder, he was wishy-washy all season. Towards the end, he seemed like he really wanted to be on the team with LeBron and them. AD, injuries flared up again. Caruso was probably their best consistent player, like throughout the whole fucking season. Like
him and Taylor. Him and Taylor been balling all season.
Shout out to Taylor, from Simeon. Shout out to him. But and then now Frank Vogel may get fired after he just won the championship last season. So I mean, if you LeBron, you just sit at home and just let Rob Pelinka and Jenny Buss try to figure out what they want to do.
But this is the interesting thing, though. The interesting thing is half of their team is free agents. Schroeder, Hero, and I doubt Schroeder gonna come back because they offered him a contract earlier this season, but he won $100 million, and I don't think
stupid.
And I think Hero gonna leave for the simple point that in the playoffs he didn't get no playing time. It really was revenge against the Clippers. I think that's why he signed with the Lakers. It was revenge, but that didn't turn out right. But I think he gonna end up leaving.
I feel like here Montrez didn't play a lot because offensively he cannot space the floor, and you got LeBron and AD on the floor at the same time. Montrez cannot be on the floor with them.
That's why Drummond didn't play.
Defense, but on offense, all you got to do is play off Montrez, and LeBron can't operate like that. He got to at least have shooters around him at all times for him to do what he do. So Montrez was a liability in that aspect. As far as energy, they definitely need him for energy. When you take LeBron and them out the game, you need him to get them offensive rebounds and kind of get some stops. But they decided
put a body on the nigga, something.
We didn't even Drummond was an offensive liability, which is why he got taken out the game, and he one of the best. He was the best rebounders in the league. But it wasn't that they weren't getting. Yeah, it wasn't that they weren't getting rebounds. It was he couldn't guard nobody on offense. Aiden was really messing them up on both ends. I thought they lost the series after Chris Paul got hurt, and he kind of went back, but Devin Booker went off. He went off. Cameron Payne.
Man, unsung.
Bridges hit like every shot I saw him take. He was hitting.
Hey, Cam Johnson too.
Cam Johnson off the he looked like he's 16, a 6'10" sniper coming off the bench. Like Monty Williams deserves a lot of credit for getting these guys to play and space the floor and following their defensive schemes. He deserves a hand clap from me for putting all that together and beating the Lakers.
Hey, but let's get to this. Let's get to this last first round series right quick. We can talk more about the Lakers. There ain't nothing to talk about. They out. So so the Clippers and the Mavericks. Game
what a
7.
series this was. What a series this was.
The Clippers was down 2-0. This was the first series in history that all the road games was won besides Game 7, but it ain't never been a series like this. But outside of the Clippers, I think Kristaps Porzingis, I think he been a hot topic. I think everybody feel the same way.
Let me start off by saying that I'm pretty sure a lot of people lost a lot of parlays with these games with the Clippers in Dallas because it was like you didn't know who was going to win when the game started. Like, Dallas started off good and the Clippers come back and win too. Then Dallas win. I'm just like, Game 7, I didn't know who was going to win yesterday. I really didn't. It was kind of just like, for me, it was whoever hit the game winner was going to take them to the next round. And the Clippers give Ty Lue a lot of credit for his defensive schemes as he came out and they was hooping. Kawhi came out, he dropped like 40. You notice a big change in their defense after the first two games that they played. Well, maybe after game 5, you notice their defense, they start to change some things up. I think they went as small as having Morris at the center, which
they have
kind of taking out.
They have Batum at the center.
Batum, whichever one they switching. That was a big move for them to do because then to counter that, Rick come out with Boban and Porzingis. You got a 7-3 dude and a 7-4 dude against they small lineup. So it was kind of fun to watch. They coaches kind of make chess moves, and the Clippers just made better.
Down now, fuckers.
Yeah,
yeah. He was going crazy. G. He was better than Porzingis.
Yeah,
he was better than Porzingis.
Sad to say, but
yeah,
Porzingis, bro. I ain't gonna lie. They traded all of that for him to be what he is, bro. And part of that though is they using a rocket scheme, that James Harden ISO ball thing, and letting Luka dominate the ball, which is Kristaps did mention that. I think that's why they don't like each other per se, because Luka dominates the ball.
And see, they mentioned that earlier.
Now, Kristaps is not. I'm sorry, bro, but it's Luka team. You might as well just get used to it and get lost because it's over with. I'm sorry,
but that's what they mentioned earlier. They kind of was using Porzingis as a space the floor type of player. In New York, he was posting up. He was shooting fadeaways, mid range. They don't got him playing the same way as they did on Knicks, and I think that's what they came out with today. So it's gonna be up to the coaching staff if they want to try to integrate Porzingis into the offense more, or they just gonna try to get somebody else because it kind of showed like Luka. It looked like Damian Lillard in the Nuggets series the way Luka was playing. Except the thing is, Tim Hardaway and all them was stepping up in games where it was Dallas was able to take some games from the Clippers. So Luka's gonna be a problem, man.
But what Dallas thinking is, with Luka and Porzingis and pick and roll, they pretty much unguardable. But I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of opportunities where Kristaps had some open shots, but he just wasn't hitting them shots. And then this I think Shaq be saying this all the time. You a big dude, call for the ball. You got these shorter dudes on you. Like, call for the ball. You should like get in the post.
But that's not the offense they was running though. That's not. But, they were kind of doing
bro. It come to a point like you got to just use your size.
You got to command the ball. Like,
yeah, bro.
You got to command.
So
Go in the
y'all
huddle,
saying Porzingis should just threw a chair
and tell them give
in
me the
timeout
ball.
to
Give
get
me
his
the
point
rock.
across.
All he got to do is tell him time out. I got to miss. He pretty much got anybody's is a mismatch. If you want to be honest, dude, 7'3". Who you had? Batum and them guarding you or Morris? You better get in the post. Tell him, give me the ball, move out the way.
Give me the ball.
That sounds like a coaching problem.
Yeah, I think it is. I think Luka had a ball in his hands too much.
It came out today that Mark Cuban already said he's staying because Mark Cuban feel like you get rid of Rick, you may not get somebody better or as good as him.
Because Rick is a damn good coach. Not gonna lie.
Right. So I think it's up to him. Who I think they need? They need another playmaker besides Luka. I think Schroeder would fit in better with Dallas than he did on the Lakers.
Agreed.
It would kind of give him playmaking ability, and he could kind of score when Luka not on the floor and still kind of get the ball moving. Luka wouldn't have to bring it up as much. So
hey, look,
I feel like Dennis would be a good piece for them. They need another spacer, another maybe a forward or a small forward. Keep Tim Hardaway Jr. because scores are hard to come by in this league that are consistent, like Tim Hardaway. I seen him pull up in a fast break, and it was like a 1-on-4. He pulled up anyway and still knocked it down. I'm like, okay.
Finney Smith is underrated too. He like a 3-and-D type person. But I think at some point you could get somebody better than him. But Jalen Brunson, he's underrated too. I don't know what they're gonna do with him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you get Dennis, you got to get rid of Porzingis at that point, money wise. You get rid of Porzingis,
who gonna want him? He got $100 million. You got to trade somebody for him. That's $100-some million. You got to match up.
Send him to the Hornets. I don't know. They can use
so
him.
much to the Hornets.
Devontae Graham or something.
Hey,
Rozier.
If he wants the ball in his hands, the Hornets is the best team for him. They need somebody like Porzingis.
Think about this: Kyle Lowry, veteran. I think Kyle Lowry be a good fit.
I think he needs to go to the Lakers to replace Dennis.
I said the Clippers at first. I said Clippers would be a good fit. He played with Kawhi already.
Let me just throw that out there. Lowry won at least 30, I think.
Oh yeah, he at least won a 2-year deal worth about 30, 35.
No, I'm talking about a year.
Or Miami. It's a lot of places Lowry can go. Miami, he can go anywhere. Really.
He know he's not going to get 35 a year. He knows he's not. I will hope he knows he's not going to get that.
The way these players getting paid, I mean, it's possible. It's possible, but
the way
I'm not giving Lowry no. I'm giving Lowry at least 20, 25.
I give him 25 for sure. 25 for sure. 25. 2 years. Yeah. Give him a player option. 2-year deal, player option.
Get rid of Siakam or somebody too. I don't know. But put in the package.
You don't trade Siakam.
I think he overrated, in my opinion. I think people.
That's a conversation for another day. That's a conversation for another day.
I think he overrated.
I think he overrated too.
All right, well, send him to the Celtics.
Yeah, they can use him.
For who?
For whoever. They need help over there. They don't know what they're doing.
That's their best player. Who you going to send, Jaylen Brown?
Hey, do what you got to do. The Celtics, it's so awkward watching Celtics. They get good player after good player, and they still lose.
That's what I'm saying. You had Kyrie, you had Gordon Hayward, you had Al Horford, who's on the. Who I think they should have kept. If you really
they did Al Horford so bogus. They didn't need to get rid of Al Horford. They didn't need to get rid of him.
He went to Philly, then you see that didn't work. So like,
then he died at OKC.
And then the one thing I will say about Boston is they was liking bench help. That's one thing I will say. They ain't really had no bench help.
They had a lot of good players that played hard off the bench. They was decent off the bench.
But
Robert
Williams, he gonna be good. He gonna be good. Robert
Langford came off. He was hitting.
Romeo Langford, Peyton Pritchard, Grant Williams. Like they got.
Do your homework, Dante. Do your homework.
No, I've been watching them, but obviously they've been getting. Romeo Langford ain't played for most of the season until probably the postseason because they've been injuries.
Hey, you got to work with what you got.
But I'm saying they gonna need like a good power forward.
They need a center, bro. That's what they.
And then they gonna have to make a decision on Kemba Walker like this
All
season.
right, so let's end this with our predictions for the second round.
Okay, so
starting with Philly and Atlanta. Just predictions. That's it.
That's it. Let's start with the Nets and Bucks. I already got it up on the screen. I got Brooklyn. Even though Harden got a hamstring tightness, Kyrie and Durant just too much. And
predictions, man. Predictions. That's it.
Nets.
We're gonna be here for another hour.
I got Nets in 5. Nets in 5.
Wow.
I mean, okay. So if Harden hamstring
prediction,
no, I'm giving you a reason why my prediction is what it is. 5 games for the Nets if Harden is still hurt. If not, then they getting swept. But Harden not playing next game, so
yeah, that's tonight. Game tonight.
Yeah. Nets in 5.
I
think Milwaukee gonna steal one, but I think the Nets just gonna. They offense is too.
I feel like they're gonna make adjustments. I think it's going 7. I think it's going 7 games on some.
This the thing though.
No. You can't add on, Dante. You gotta go to the next one. Nope. You gotta let it play out.
Brooklyn is 7.
All right. Next.
Okay. So the Hawks won yesterday, 128-124.
Surprised the hell out of me.
They led by 26 at one point in the game. Trae Young had 35. I low-key got the upset the Hawks. And the only reason I'm going to say that is Ben Simmons is a liability. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm
So Hawks and what?
Huh?
Hawks and what?
I say Hawks and 7.
I got to agree with him. I just like the way they came. I didn't expect them to win a game against the Sixers. What I saw yesterday, I'm just like, all right, we gotta just believe in Trae Young,
and we don't know if Embiid gonna be fully healthy or not. He got a torn.
So I give me the Hawks in 7.
But we don't know if he gonna keep that up. He can aggravate it. But it's really not Embiid.
Predictions.
It's really not Embiid. It's Ben Simmons. That's all I'm gonna say. That's how I'm putting it.
Hawks in 7 for me too.
I got Sixers and 6.
That's valid.
Okay. So this series starts tonight. The Suns and Nuggets. I got Suns in 5.
Suns and 6 for me.
Suns and
6.
I think that's a whole different defensive team than Portland.
That's gonna be a fun series to watch. I'm looking forward to that series. Like,
so the Jazz and Clippers.
I feel like whoever win game 1. I'm sorry. I feel like whoever win game 1 gonna win this series for the Nuggets and the Suns.
So the Jazz and Clippers that come on tomorrow. This is interesting because these top 3-point shooting teams in the league. I got the Clippers in 7. I'm not gonna lie. I got the Clippers in 7.
This is the first one we don't agree on. I got the Jazz in 6.
Jazz in 6. For sure.
That sound pretty.
Jazz in 6.
Only because I feel like Utah can get more stops than the Clippers, and don't sleep on the Jazz shooting because
the Clippers got shooting too. They both
Hey,
top
but
3 in
not
shooting.
better than the Jazz.
Yeah.
Not
No,
better than the Jazz.
this all I'm gonna say. This all I'm gonna say. If Luke Kennard plays, because he didn't play all this last series,
He's
and
not going to
if
be a
Serge
factor.
Ibaka
He's
come
not
back, no, look. If Serge Ibaka can come back and space the floor, I think they can. I think they're gonna hurt. I think Kawhi and PG. I think Kawhi gonna be too much for them. To be honest,
Luke Kennard not gonna play. I'm just
He
gonna play.
He ain't play this.
He gonna play.
He ain't gonna play now.
But you don't know what's gonna happen in this series.
Hey, I said 6 games, so I mean it's still a toss up.
And then with Donovan Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell's a superstar. Don't get me wrong, but the Clippers got some defenders, so I don't know how he gonna play against them. We gonna have to see. Mike Conley, he's injured. Mike Conley got a hamstring injury, so we don't know how healthy he gonna be.
What you said?
The Clippers' best chance is playoff fucking P. Fuck you, playoff P need to go off because I ain't gonna lie though.
No, if Paul George, that's what I'm saying. If Paul George show up, it's gonna be interesting.
He gotta go off because Kawhi gonna get his. I ain't gonna lie. That game 6 against them, he looked like Kobe. I seen reminiscence of Kobe, and I'm just like, damn, folks look just like his ass. Like every move, like the confidence, the step back. We never seen Kawhi do a step back 3. He hit 3 of them in a row. I ain't never seen that before out of Kawhi. So if
the only reason
you get that Kawhi, it's gonna be ugly. But the X factor gonna be Paul George. He has to show up in order for him to win.
The reason I get the Clippers an edge is because I think outside of Mitchell, you gotta look at Bogdanovich, but I think they got defenders who can guard him. That's why I was saying
you got Joe Ingles.
Here y'all go messing it up. It was just supposed to be predictions.
Like,
it was just supposed to be predictions.
I don't know. Right. This is a weird series. This is a weird series.
So I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in and say Rudy Gobert is gonna be the reason why they win or lose this series, and we're gonna end it at that. Since y'all want to throw in y'all ad libs.
Man, look, like I said, it's a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
A lot to talk about. But
I appreciate y'all for having me on, man. This has been an honor. Like, I hope to come on again and everything to y'all podcast. But
for sure.
Definitely,
for sure.
I
especially if one of your predictions wrong, we definitely gonna bring you back. We gonna have you in like Kendrick Perkins eating your words.
I'm putting you full screen too. I'm putting you full screen.
Like what you say on episode 4 when you said
Jalen Rose.
Hey, look, I'm gonna grab the old clip and I'm put it in black and gray, and then I'm gonna rewind it back.
Not KP. I could at least been Jalen Rose, Stephen A, Shannon Sharp. Yeah. I'll go. Not KP.
Hey, Shannon Sharp sad right now. We ain't gonna bring him up.
Hey, the GOAT conversation over with. I don't care how you put it, but we're gonna say that for whenever.
Yeah, we're gonna say it for another episode.
I just know it's over. Conversation over. But man, thanks for everybody for tuning in to this episode 4 of Give and Go.
Longest episode.
Yeah, by far. But if y'all go on YouTube, y'all can just type in Give and Go the NBA show, then y'all find it right there. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. This will be up on Facebook Live as well. So for y'all to keep, watch over if y'all missed anything. But man, Juice, lucky to have you, bro. It's been a long time coming.
Appreciate you.
Bring me back. I love to come back.
But yeah, we're gonna end this show off. Like I said, make sure y'all go on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe to our channel. And we're gonna be back soon with episode 5. I'll tell you that.
For sure.
Get up out of here. Y'all have a good day.
All right.